Hi guys, this is Mitch Germain. A few weeks ago, I got the idea to start watching uh, uh, mostly Disney Pixar movies, but um, in addition to the Disney and Pixar series of movies, I also got the idea to review and watch pretty much for quite a bit of them for the first time ever. Um, Movies from my childhood that I may never have seen. And the first movie, um, I have yeah, the first movie I have the, the first movie, let's try that again. I have the privilege of watching is 1937's Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I actually never knew that this movie was as old as it was. um, I think I found that out from, I was taking a film class in, geez, what year was it? I think it was my senior year of college, which would have been, uh, it was either my final year of college or the semester before that. Yeah. Um, Actually found out that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was um, made in 1937. Actually, then just one random day when we were um, looking over the history of like animated movies, and so I had no idea of like the legacy of Snow White. So yeah, uh, I was a I was a pretty dumb, stupid kid, I guess. um, so yeah, this movie, um, when I was a child, certain scenes just uh, scared me like so much. I sometimes couldn't even get through it. Like, there's a scene where I'll talk about that later, I guess, when I actually get into the meat of this review. Um, yeah, but yeah, full disclosure, um, I was one of those dumb, stupid children who just like up until I reached my adult years, I just kind of always assumed that like every single Disney movie was like made like near or around the time that I was born. Yeah, I am dumb. Yeah. Um, yeah. As a kid, I never knew not only just the significant like just the legacy of this movie, but I never knew like some like key details of the plot of Snow White. Um, which I kind of blame the movie itself because like um I never knew that um the evil queen was Snow White's stepmother, which I'm pretty sure they say like probably like the halfway point, like actually in dialogue, which I just never remembered because the middle point of the movie is kind of a blur to me sometimes. Um, yeah, I never knew that those two were actually like technically related, so I didn't really. I just thought she hated Snow White because like oh she's more beautiful than her according to her evil magic mirror. Um, yeah. Um, and I also had like no idea that she was forced to work as a it's described as a scullery maid. Um, yeah, I did not know that a lot of the details of Snow White's, I guess, like posthumous like plot, I guess, or like the plot that like takes place before the story itself, because I don't think I ever actually read or like had time to read the little like opening card that actually gives the story of Snow White in like a storybook form. It would have helped a lot better with narration, but I understand like technical limitations, so and they did kind of explain things like later in the movie, like in like a bit simpler way, I suppose. But yeah, I I never knew that Snow White was being forced to work as a scullery maid, and like just like their relation to each other, like the evil queen and her, never knew they were related at all. um, I'm I'm stupid. Um, yeah. Yeah. Um, the first thing I really want to touch on is um, I really I don't know. I really liked the songs in this movie like more than I thought I would, and like the plot, like it's not like the best like Disney movie like ever from like a plot standpoint. So please don't take my words the wrong way from that. I like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs as a movie. It's just I don't know. It's not my favorite from like a storytelling standpoint, like and a song standpoint, but I did enjoy the songs in this movie, especially like Snow White's songs. I don't really remember the names of the songs, but yeah, that actress has I don't know, she has a very beautiful voice, and like it fits the character very well. Um, if I had to say my favorite song though, it would probably have to be Hi Ho, the Dwarfs song as they're working in the mines. That's another thing I forgot about this movie. I forgot that the Dwarfs actually worked in a mine shaft. Um, yeah, I have I have not seen this movie like probably for like uh it's probably been a good like 20 years. So yeah. Um the queen orders her huntsman to kill Snow White because the mirror says she's the fairest in the land, and um one another thing I didn't remember from like my childhood in this movie, I didn't remember the huntsman actually taking like uh or not taking pity, I suppose, but like actually having a heart and showing mercy on Snow White and just telling her to like leave and never come back. Like I thought he actually like my brain remembers him actually trying to kill her, and um the queen wants her heart in like this little box thing, and he I believe he puts it's been like 2 weeks since I saw this movie. Like I'm reviewing it basically from like 2 weeks ago. So forgive me if I get anything wrong. Um he puts I believe it's a pig's heart in this golden box that the queen gives her, instead of Snow White's heart. But yeah. Um so yeah, points to the sorry, my computer's screen cut out. Yeah, points for the huntsman for actually being like a good person. I didn't remember him actually having a heart. Yeah. So yeah, he's a cool dude. I like Snow White too. I think she's a nice girl. Um, the next scene, where she's actually running through the forest. Um, this scene scared the heck out of me as a kid. um, I just remember the imagery of it being so much more terrifying and just like, I don't know. What I saw as a kid was not at all what I saw like 2 weeks ago when I watched this movie for the first time in like 20 years. Um, not at all. um, I guess what I remember seeing like as a child, um, I probably can't show this for fear of like copyright or anything, but um, uh, I believe it's the episode of My Little Pony, Hurricane Fluttershy from season 2. Um, the character Fluttershy is, if you don't know who that is, she's a just very kind-hearted, sweet, like, female, yellow Pegasus with a pink tail. Um, she's just very shy, as her name kind of implies. Um, anyway, there's this scene where she's like scared to death of like messing up on a flying test, and her fellow basically trainee Pegasi, she envisions just them like taunting her, and like there are all these like 3D like, I don't know, eyeballs of all these ponies, like just the eyeballs and like this pinkish red background. It's kind of terrifying actually. And her reaction doesn't really help much. It's like she's like breathing, like probably like hyperventilating. And yeah, I I kind of remember something more along the lines of, I don't know, that. Or if you guys know Winnie the Pooh's Halloween special, I think it's called Boo to You too. Um, there's a certain scene in that where Piglet gets like scared, and all these trees are like, uh, well, he's imagining like all the trees are like a lot scarier than they are, and like trying to get at him. Um, yeah, I imagine something like more terrifying, like that. I guess when I went back to watch Snow White, and yeah, the forest scene really didn't scare me as much as it used to at all. Not that I liked the scene anymore, but I certainly wasn't scared of it. Yeah. So after that, Snow White's basically a crying like mess, basically in the forest. She's like scared. Um, all the eyes that are like surrounding her end up being like really cute, like forest animals. My favorite, definitely. I want to say there was like a deer or like a fawn or something. That was like really cute. Um, they come across a house that's, of course, owned by the seven dwarfs. Um, and they're, of course, out on mining business. Um, the animals in Snow White clean the house, and it's honestly just really cute. um, they sing a song. I think it's "Whistle While You Work." which is also a really good song. I'm probably not going to be able to remember like every song from this movie or the name of every song, but yeah, I really liked this one. Then we cut to Snow White. She falls asleep in one of their one of the dwarfs' beds upstairs. We cut to the dwarfs in the mine shaft. They sing a song. It's either Hi Ho or another song. I can't really remember. I believe it's Hi Ho. But yeah. I believe this is a good time to mention Dopey is definitely my favorite of the seven. Definitely Dopey. These are my favorites, but this is another thing entirely. Dopey, Grumpy, and Doc, I feel definitely got the majority of the focus in this movie. Um, oh yeah, one thing I should mention. I also didn't remember that close to the start of this movie, um, before the huntsman even comes, there's a scene where we meet the prince, who later in this movie, spoilers, uh, actually wakes Snow White up with a kiss. And yeah, he's, I don't know, picture Prince Charming, I guess, from like Shrek, but like uglier, and you'll have him. um, I don't fully remember a lot of their interaction. I think he kind of creeped her out a bit. Wanted me a bit of a, I guess, a less ideal version of when Prince Philip um, in Sleeping Beauty when he first met Aurora. Yeah, when Prince Philip first met Aurora. Yeah, like that scene. I'll touch on that when I actually get to that movie too. But yeah, um, the dwarves come home. They find Snow White, or they find Snow White, and all the animals have like cleaned their house. Basically, they're kind of suspicious. um, we get some like characterization from all of them. Basically, Dopey is by far my favorite. But yeah, I feel like Dopey, Doc, and Grumpy definitely get the majority of like uh, screen time slash like characterization. Um, and the other four, uh, Bashful, Sleepy, Sneezy, and Bashful, Sneezy, Sleepy, uh, Bashful, Sneezy, whatever. There's one more. Sorry, I can't remember the other one's name. Yeah. They just don't get a lot of like lot to do in the film, I guess. For me to really like think they left much of an impact on me, I guess. But yeah, the other three definitely get the majority of screen time. And yeah, Dumpy though, he's absolutely just so precious, man. Uh, um, um, yeah, they find Snow White and sleeping in their cottage, basically. um, hmm. Um, I think Grumpy tries to like kick her out or something, but the others like she makes them all like apple dumplings. Um, and it's funny because like I don't know. I should mention like two things I noticed while watching the movie. Grumpy is very like tsundere towards Snow White. I definitely not violent towards her anyway. So I'm not like say like I don't know uh, some tsunderes I like. I guess like Tia/Tio from Zatchbell and like Taiga Asuka from Toradora. Yeah, Grumpy doesn't reach that level of like tsundere, I guess, but he's close. And Doc, I didn't remember this really at all. um, Doc has this weird thing where he like I don't know keeps like I guess like screwing up his words and saying the wrong thing at least twice. So before he finally gets whatever he's trying to say like out, I guess in the correct way. And I don't know. Sometimes I was a little annoyed by that trait, but I don't know it makes Doc, I guess. But yeah, Dopey is best dwarf. um, then we get more from the Queen, I guess. But yeah, before that, there's like a scene where Snow White tells them to all uh, wash, basically, like clean their faces. That seems pretty funny, I guess. I don't remember really anything about it except like they like they kind of force Grumpy into taking the bath, and yeah, I just remember like Dopey just being generally or yeah, genuinely just adorable and precious in that scene too. Um, we get more stuff with the evil queen. Um, um, she for some reason she makes herself uh, into an old woman to disguise herself to get close to Snow White when she could have just taken any other form that would leave her like just even a bit more like easy to defend herself. Like I kind of know why she did this because she kind of wanted to look weak and helpless, but it really kind of screwed her over in the end. Well, we'll get to that. Um, uh, Ending scene with the evil queen when she's an old woman is still like pretty terrifying and produces like some jump scares, as my brother can probably attest. um, yeah. Um, I do want to mention also this movie. um, it takes a really long time to like show like some things like one thing one like major example I took note of to remember was when she's going down the stairs to like get the poison apple. Um, the scene probably takes like just her walking down the stairs probably takes like 15 seconds, with no talking whatsoever, just walking down the stairs. That was a bit much in my opinion. They probably could have like shaved off like half of that, and like I don't know, just made the movie just a bit shorter. Um, yeah. Um, Scene where she's making the poison apple. I remember actually being kind of scared even a little bit of the skull face that the apple gets when she dips it in the poison, because the poison makes like this like silhouette of like a skull, um, which is a pretty iconic image now, I guess. On Twitter, actually, I saw like uh, this Let's Player I'm following post something from like a completely different video game, and the image from it looked exactly like the poison apple when it's dipped in the I'm just gonna call it the skull poison. Yeah, that's a good name for it. Um, yeah, she goes to oh yeah, I gotta mention her like telling the buzzards that try to like attack her, basically. Like, I don't know if she wants to give them the poison apple first, and like it's, I don't know, honestly kind of creepy. Um, the whole have a bite thing. um, yeah, the forest animals, the forest creatures rightfully try to attack her when she, because they know what's up, basically. Try to like save Snow White, but Snow White kind of like makes them stop, and there's another like jump scare scene of when she arrives in the house because there's this smash cut to the queen just standing in Snow White's window, which is honestly really creepy. And why did Disney allow that? um, yeah. Uh, she gets attacked by the animals. Um, oh, this is all while the dwarfs are away at work, by the way. Um, she gets attacked by the animals. Snow White chases them off, basically. Um, uh, she helps the old woman, and then uh, the old woman like gives her the apple as like thanks, I suppose. um, Snow White eats the apple, then um, the evil queen like, leaves. Snow White's basically presumed dead. But then the dwarfs and all the animals like come home and they eventually find the evil queen and chase her to the top of a mountain with a huge rock on like the cliff, basically. Um, yeah, it's not going to be important later. um, the evil queen tries to use this rock to crush the dwarfs as they're chasing after her. Uh, um, I should mention, at least from what I got out of it, the dwarfs never like actually like tried to like assault her or attack her in any way. So she's just doing this to like try to kill them like unprovoked. But yeah, uh, the cliff she's standing on breaks, um, which causes the boulder she's trying to use to crush the dwarfs to basically vault onto her. Um, she falls off the cliff. The boulder crushes her dead, which honestly like reminds me of if you've ever played the video game Limbo. Uh, there's a giant black spider in it, and you can trap a spider in this ravine as it's chasing you, and basically use a boulder to crush it. And later you can like, and over the course of the game, you remove all its legs, and eventually like you can like take out its last leg and like roll its basically limbless body into like a ditch, basically. So yeah, that's, I don't know, the scene with the queen and just like getting crushed by the boulder just reminded me of how you can like uh, incapacitate the spider by rolling a giant rock onto it with a trap in the game Limbo. So yeah, um, uh, and the dwarfs are understandably like sad because Snow White's dead, and it's revealed that they've like, or it's kind of like, I guess you can kind of assume they made this, but they put Snow White in this casket made of solid gold and glass, which is honestly pretty beautiful. Um, yeah, it's nice to look at. um, there are a lot of tears shed on it, understandably. I just feel bad for Dopey Man. um, uh, Prince Charming from earlier in the movie, he comes back. He kisses her. She wakes up. They live they live happily ever after. And yeah, I think they just I think they go on to like they leave the dwarfs. I'm gonna check the internet. Okay, it says on Wikipedia that um, uh, Prince Charming takes her to his castle. So yeah, they leave the dwarfs apparently, which I don't know. Yeah, so a good movie. I also want to mention that yeah, she kind of treats them like children throughout this entire movie, which they're actually like uh at least probably like triple her age, so that's a little, I don't know, it's kind of creepy. Yeah. Anything else I wanted to say about this movie? Um, yeah, I just kind of wish the other four dwarves would have gotten a bit more like, attention. I would have like, I guess like some of the things like showing like the scenes in full of the queen like running down the stairs, like full animation, like I don't know, like 15 seconds. It felt like was a bit much. Um, the music though was beautiful. The songs are beautiful. All the voice actors did great. um, uh, if I had to give this movie like a grade, I guess I think a C would be what I'd give it. Probably. It's not like it's not my favorite Disney movie. The songs are good though. The characters are good. Um, there are just a lot of things I'd like tighten up, and I don't know. I'd be really interested to see if Disney like wanted to like remake this movie, like possibly like um, uh, preferably like animated, I guess, like an animated like uh, retelling, I guess you could say. But yeah, that was my review of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. If I had to give a favorite song from it, it would definitely be like Hi Ho, because that song is just iconic. And the other and Snow White's songs, they were beautiful, but they didn't really leave much of a lasting impression on me. So yeah, this is my review of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I'm SerenitySpiderMonkey. Um, uh, Next Disney review / just movie review will probably be either Nightmare Before Christmas, which I've actually never seen in my life, outside of a few clips and songs, or else going in chronological order, we might do uh, the original Pinocchio movie, which I have not seen in over 2 decades, probably. So that should be some fun. See ya. Bye.